Christine Barger.
And I'm Darlene Hollywood.
And this is our podcast. This is the first episode of our podcast. This is the very first inaugural podcast.
Yep. So we're going to start our podcast out with the question of the day.
Okay, go ahead and start with that.
If you could have any pet in the world, what would it be?
If I could have any pet in the world, I would probably have a monkey.
Really?
Yeah. I would hands down want a monkey, actually. It would be a question. I would want a monkey.
Oh, well, I would want a seeing eye dog.
A seeing eye dog. Why would you want a seeing eye dog?
So that way I can get on all the rides at the theme parks faster. I could just go in Disneyland and just jump the line and be like, I have special needs dog.
You know, I was at Disneyland the other day.
I know, you're always at Disneyland.
It's true. I go to Disneyland like every Saturday or Sunday or both.
Sometimes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a little bit much.
We go a little bit much. But anyway, yeah, I was there and there was a seeing eye dog and it was freaking out.
What do you mean it was freaking out?
I mean, it was like barking and jumping and doing all sorts of stuff, like trying to get out of this cage.
They put it in a cage?
Yes, apparently when you go to Disneyland, you can leave your seeing eye dog at the ride when you get on at the handicap access part of the ride, and the dog stays in a cage. And then they supply the cage,
and then they clean it out.
Yeah, I don't know what they do with the cage. They spray it down or something, but they have a cage and they put the seeing eye dog in a cage while you're on the ride, and then when you come back, you get back the dog, and then you leave.
Okay, and?
I forget my story. Oh, yes!
You do that sometimes.
I do. Sometimes I lose train of thought. So anyway, I went, this was like 2 weeks ago. It was when the Johnny Depp thing was there.
Okay, for Lone Ranger?
Yes, Lone Ranger. Johnny Depp was there for the Lone Ranger screening thing, and so we thought we'd go get on Cars.
Which always has a line.
Yes, and so when I went to go get on Cars, there was no line. They had just opened the ride back up because it had been down. And I have to go to the handicap access because of my knee. I have a bad knee. And then I saw this dog in a cage.
And it was a seeing eye dog. That's the story.
No. That's the long version to get to the story. So basically, this dog is freaking out in the cage. And, you know, and I'm over there trying to calm, kind of looking at it, trying to get it to calm down. And it, sits down and it looks up, and it's not acting like a seeing eye dog. And so I said something to the employee, and I said, or the cast member.
That's right, because they're cast members, they're not employees. They have to be cast in their position at the magical world of Disney.
It's true. So I asked the cast member, I said, hey, what's the deal with this dog? Why is it acting up? And she basically alluded to the fact that people come to Disneyland and they don't actually need the seeing eye dog. What they do is they bring the dog that's their pet and they put a seeing eye dog, clothes on it, whatever that's called. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. They put this, the thing over the dog so that it looks like a seeing eye dog and the little harness and stuff, and they say service dog, and then they just bring their regular dog and they make it a service dog so they can bring it into the park because they don't want to, leave it in the car. They bring it on vacation or whatever.
That's kind of lame.
I know. It's okay, well, don't you have to ask for, papers or anything?
What is that noise?
It's the neighbors, because our neighbors are crazy Russians that have to listen to music really loud at all hours of the day, which is why I can never make any videos. So we're going to push through and see if it's too distracting. Then I will trash the whole podcast and be done with it. Because I have dicks for neighbors.
Probably shouldn't put that online because I think they're Russian mafia.
They might be in the mafia. It's possible. It's possible that my Russian neighbors are actually in the mafia.
We could just do it in the other room, but we can't do the video part.
I know. I just thought it would be better for us to do a video podcast instead of just a sound podcast because, you know, it lends better to people being able to see you. You're interesting.
I'm interesting, yes.
So I figured it'd be more fun if they could see us. But you're right, we might have to go just do an audio one.
But you're gonna do the audio part separate anyway, aren't you? And put it up as both?
I don't know, we'll see. I've never done this before, so I really don't know how podcast goes online. So we'll find out once I get over there and try to put it on I don't know, YouTube or iTunes or wherever you put podcasts. I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
Well, good thing you have a plan.
All right, so what were we talking about?
The dog.
Oh yes, the dog. So that was it. That was the story. The people put their dogs in seeing eye dog stuff or service dog, and then they bring it, and they don't ask for any paperwork or anything apparently.
I think they do.
I don't know. They said they didn't. I even asked at City Hall.
You went to City Hall?
No, at Disneyland they have a City Hall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I went there and I asked there if they could just, I don't know. I mean, they gave me my stair pass and I don't have to do anything. I just asked for it.
What does that mean?
Like, I have a stair pass at Disney, so I don't have to wait in line because of my knee, because I can't do stairs.
So if there's a line, you don't have to wait in the line? I mean, is your knee really that bad?
It's not that my knee's too bad to wait in line.
That's what you got the pass for.
No, I got it so I don't have to walk up and down stairs.
So if there's a line and there's stairs, you don't have to wait.
Pretty much. If there's a line and there's stairs, I go over to the attendant cast member and tell them I have a stair pass and show them my pass, and I have a bad knee, I can't go on stairs, and then they will tell me like to return later.
You just come back?
Yeah, I come back. Like, I have to wait the same amount of time. I just get a return pass and then I come later. So like if there's a 45-minute line, they give me a return pass for 45 minutes later, and I go like sit down on a bench and wait and come back.
Rather than standing in line like everybody else.
I don't do it very often. I only do it when my knee's really, really acting up.
Okay. So how's that different than the seeing eye dog?
It's different than this. I don't try to bring like a live animal that could bite somebody, like this crazy dog that was barking and freaking out. I don't bring it into the park and put people in danger. I just tend to wait in line elsewhere, not in line.
I see. It's not a double standard at all.
It's not a double standard. It's totally different.
Yep, totally different. Again, that's why I would want a seeing eye dog, so I can skip the lines at the theme parks and not feel guilty about it, because it would be a real service animal.
Whatever. I want a monkey because I've always wanted a monkey.
Didn't you have like some weird thing happen with a monkey once?
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica in college.
You went to college in Costa Rica?
No, I went to college at Ball State University in Indiana, and my friend who lived in the same dorm as me, she was going to spring break in Costa Rica with her family.
And you went along?
And I went along.
Well, that sounds a little weird. You just like stepped in on some family's vacation, just you and them?
Kind of. It was a little, to be honest, it was a little weird. They're super nice and I adore them. But yeah, I just kind of like, it was her dad and his fiance, I think, and then her and then me.
Okay, that's awkward.
It was a little weird. But anyway, when I was in Costa Rica, there was a monkey sanctuary. They have a sanctuary for monkeys.
Are you going to worship them?
No, I didn't worship it. It's just like a place for monkeys to stay so that they're safe away from like people who poach them and stuff.
Okay, and then you saw a monkey?
No, I saw a bunch of monkeys, but one monkey was a little baby monkey, little baby howler monkey, and he crawled up on my neck, and he like wrapped his head on one side, and then this little tail around here.
That looks like that would be uncomfortable. You had a wild monkey on your neck?
I did, and then he went to sleep. He fell asleep right there on my neck. It was really cute.
It sounds like it was really weird. I wouldn't want a wild monkey on my neck. What if it had to take a piss?
Well, then it would have. It didn't. It didn't have to go to the bathroom. I took it, and it went to sleep,
and you took it? So you have a monkey?
No, I didn't take it. I left it at the sanctuary. I like took it over to the person who was running, and I was like, "Hey, look, there's a monkey on my neck," and then it climbed off.
Oh, that was a little weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was a monkey on my neck.
As opposed to a monkey on your back.
As opposed to a monkey on my back. So anyway, that's why I always wanted monkeys, because I always thought that was like the cutest little monkey and he'd be a great little pet. It was kind of like a kitten, like it was just like there, just like a little, like,
did it purr or something?
It didn't purr or anything, it was a monkey. I don't know. I like monkeys, they're cute.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay. Moving on. So, the next part of the podcast that we want to do is have something weird that is going on or that we saw on the internet, like a news topic or something.
Yep, and the news topic I found was Bigfoot DNA test, research results are bogus.
Oh, yes. Okay, let me read it. The Bigfoot DNA test, research results are bogus, reports claim.
That's the one I found. I wrote it down over there.
Your writing is atrocious.
I know.
So anyway, Bigfoot DNA test, research results are bogus, reports claim.
Yep. Big surprise.
I don't know. I don't understand why anybody would like even, I don't know. I mean, Bigfoot DNA test. Really? You're going to do a DNA test about Bigfoot?
They got to find out if it's real or not.
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of things are real. Bigfoot is not one of them.
Really? You don't think Bigfoot is real?
I feel like if Bigfoot was real, somebody would have found him by now.
People find him all the time.
Okay. But they don't have any, like, real proof.
They don't have any real proof of a lot of stuff, and you believe in that.
That is true.
Do you believe in Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster?
I do believe in Nessie. I went to Loch Ness in college, and I truly believe Nessie is in there somewhere, and they just haven't found her.
Okay, but you don't believe in Bigfoot.
I don't know. Something about the story of Bigfoot I don't think could be possible. It's just not plausible. There's this giant furry creature that's out in the woods that people cannot find that looks like a man and has really big feet.
Okay, but you believe in ghosts.
I totally 100% believe in ghosts.
And there's no proof of that.
There's more proof of that than there are of Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's because there's only one Bigfoot and there's supposedly hundreds of thousands of ghosts.
Okay.
So there's really not any more proof of ghosts than there is of Bigfoot, except that there are more than to try to prove.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I guess you're right. It's just that I believe that, I don't know, I believe ghosts are real because I feel like I've seen ghosts.
You've seen a ghost.
I've had lots of weird experiences in my life.
I know. You're sitting on a couch talking to a dummy. Let's chalk this up to another weird experience.
Okay, but yeah, see, weird stuff. But no, I actually had a couple of experiences with ghosts when I was growing up.
You did?
I did. I had a ghost save my life once.
Did it like throw you a lifesaver out there in the water while you were drowning or something?
No, it wasn't like that traumatic.
Oh, but it was a ghost. It was dramatic.
All right. Do you want to hear the story?
Yeah. Tell me the story. Tell me the story. I want to hear about the ghost that saved your life.
Okay. So in college, I was going to a party at my friend's house, and I was drinking. You were drinking? No, I was not drinking yet.
I think you've been drinking today.
I have not been drinking today.
Really? You're sitting on a couch talking to a dummy, and you haven't been drinking.
Okay. I have not been drinking. So, I was on my way to a party where I would be drinking.
Okay, go on.
So, I'm on my way to my friend's party, and I am coming from college back to my parents' house. This is the middle of Indiana, where we're from.
Where you're from?
Where I'm from. You're kind of from Indiana.
I'm from Littleton, Colorado.
Okay.
Then I moved to Indiana, then I moved to California.
All right, fine. So you were not born and raised in Indiana, but you grew up, you spent part of your life there.
Just a part of it. I'm from Littleton.
Okay. So you're from Colorado, but I'm from Indiana. We both lived in Indiana, and in Indiana, it's very different than like where we live now in Los Angeles.
All right. There are no street lights anywhere.
There's no traffic.
Oh my, they don't know what traffic is there.
No. And then there's just a bunch of differences, but in this particular case, I was driving from Muncie back to Winnemac, which is where I was living with my parents were living at the time, and I was heading there, and they still are living there.
I was gonna say, your parents still live in Winnemac, right?
They do, but I don't know if they want me to tell the world, so I don't want to be like, hey, this is where my parents live, because they might freak out.
I don't think they're gonna watch a podcast on the internet. Do they even have internet?
They do now. They got it's a little faster than dial-up.
Dial-up? Really?
Yeah, I know, exactly. So anyway, distracted again.
You do that a lot.
I know. So anyway, I'm driving from Muncie to Winnemac, which is pretty far, and then I'm going from my parents' house, where I like drop my stuff off, and I head over to my friend's house. And on my way over to my friend's house, I was speeding.
which is not unusual.
No, it's not. I speed a lot, as you know.
I know.
So I'm heading over to my friend's house, and I'm in the car. I'm speeding, like probably 70, 75 miles an hour, like really, really fast on country roads, which are not paved properly, and like there's no lights, and it's really dark. And so I was heading up over this little hill, and at like the bottom of the hill, I noticed this weird fog.
What do you mean, a weird fog?
It was like a weird fog. It was like mist.
Like Gorillas of the Mist, Back to the Monkeys?
No, not Gorillas of the Mist. Like just a fog. I don't know, like a fog. It was about the same height as my car, and it was rectangle, like square, like a big square rectangle thing on the street in front of me, about the width of the road and the height of my car. I don't know, it was just a fog. Anyway, so I'm driving along, it freaks me out. I slow down and I'm like, there's a big creepy fog with corners in front of me. I'm scared, so I slow down. So I went from like 70 something to like 5 miles an hour.
Really? You slowed down that fast?
Okay, maybe like 10 miles, whatever. I was going slow. I come up on the fog.
Did you hit the fog?
I couldn't stop in time to not hit the fog. So it's like right at the edge of the bottom of the hill, and I'm heading up, and I like hit the fog, and it dissipates. And then I'm slow, going really, really slow. Now I'm like creeped out. I have chills. I'm freaking out. And I'm running late. This is like 1 in the morning, and everyone's already drunk at the party. So like I was in a hurry, and now I'm like just scared. And I get to the top of the hill, and as I hit like the edge of the top of the hill, I'm going over, and then my headlights hit the road in front of me, and there was a herd of deer just standing there.
Look, there was a herd of deer?
Yeah, like a herd, like a whole herd of deer, not just like one deer, but like, I don't know, 6 or 7 deer, whatever. It was a bunch of deer standing in the road. And if I had been going 75 miles an hour on a country road in the middle of the night with no lights, I would have hit the deer.
And you probably would have died.
Exactly. That's the saving my life part.
And out there, nobody would have found you for like a day, especially if nobody knew where you were going.
Well, like my friends knew I was coming over, but they were so drunk, I don't know if they would have remembered that I wasn't even there yet. And my parents knew I was going over there, so nobody would have looked for me until at least the next day sometime. So that was my story of the ghost and the deer and how a ghost saved my life.
Okay, so I suppose if that happened to me, I would probably believe in ghosts too.
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of weird stories. You don't have any ghost stories?
I have no ghost stories at all. I mean, I tried to go ghost hunting with you that one time, but I didn't see anything.
Right.
That one at the Queen Mary when we went?
Yes, I know. I remember. It was awkward. There was nothing, and we like had all the ghost equipment out and everything, and we didn't find anything.
So I don't believe in them. But I do believe in Bigfoot.
Well, this is where we differ then. I don't believe that Bigfoot could possibly exist.
I just think that it's so much easier to believe in something that's like a real live creature and could hide from people, rather than something that just doesn't exist.
I have to beg to differ here. Okay, there are more ghost stories than just that one.
Oh, really? What else do you have?
Okay, so here's another one of my ghost stories. This is not like stories that I made up. Like these are real stories that happened to me, like real things.
I know. You believe them, so tell me the story.
Okay, my parents were not home one day, and I heard somebody walking upstairs because the floor is creaky in the old house. You remember?
Yeah. The floor like creaked on its own though. I mean, I would hear it creak too.
Okay, well, I heard it creaking, and then like I went upstairs, there was nobody there, and I heard the doors close, there was nobody there.
It's just part of being an old house.
All right, but one time, my dad was at work and my mom went out to the car in the garage, which is separate, it's like outside, of the house. So you close the door and you can't really hear in the garage. And I heard her yelling my name. And so I went upstairs and I looked for her and I was like yelling back to her. And I heard her walking around and like closing doors and I heard her talking to me. And then I go outside and she's been sitting in the car.
She was already sitting in the car the whole time, or like after she did all the yelling?
No, like she was sitting in the car while I heard somebody yelling and stuff.
Well, I'm gonna say maybe your mind just played a trick on you.
I don't know if I believe that my mind would play tricks on me quite to that extent.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's possible. You're a pretty creative person.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like, why would I imagine my mom yelling for me when she was in the car? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then, like, my cousins, they used to see the little baby, like, the kid in their closet that they played with. And they, like, would sing and play hand games with it or whatever it was. I don't really quite know.
Then don't tell a story you don't know.
You know, you've heard my aunt tell this story where the kids, the older one played in the closet with like the creepy ghost thing, and then when he got older, the younger one did the same thing, and there was like some other scary stuff in the house. They ended up moving to another house where then the chandelier like moved, and they said that it was my uncle.
Yeah, I did hear those stories.
See, I mean, there's lots of stories. My old cheerleading coach, or one of the assistants, told me of how he like was laying in bed one day and he saw this lady sit on the foot of his bed, and I guess he knew her, it was somebody from his family or something. So there's a lot of people that I know that have had personal interactions with ghost stories, not just me, like real live, like sort of things that freak them out, and like ghost stories that are like, you know, from their lives, not just things that you see on, you know, the TV or whatever.
I suppose so.
I think one of the weirdest things that happens to me, but it's not a ghost, okay? It might be a ghost, but I'm not going to say it's definitely a ghost. But you've been in the car with me, and you've heard the trunk before, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, when Billy knocks.
Yeah, exactly. So we drive around in the car, and I have one other puppet that I usually take with me when I do shows, and I keep him in the trunk of the car. I don't keep you in the trunk anymore.
Now, she lets me stay in the trunk, like of my trunk, but not the trunk of the car.
Right. So you're in your own trunk, which is like your bedroom, but Billy is like in this big handbag backpack thing in the back of the car, like in the actual trunk of the car, usually in the back seat or the front seat. Because we got in a pretty bad accident back in like November of 2012, and it was just petrifying. Like, it was the most terrifying thing.
You think it was scary? You should have done me.
I know. So I get on the freeway, and I'm going to a show. We were going to perform at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, it was an interesting show, to say the least.
But we were on our way there. It wasn't our first time going there, and it's fairly, you know, it's a drive. So we're out on the freeway, and this guy, and you were in the trunk of the car.
I was in the trunk of the trunk.
So this guy comes up behind me in like this ugly car that looks like Bumblebee from the Transformers movie. A like really weird, ugly car. And he's behind me, and he's talking on his phone, and he's driving really, really fast. And all the traffic in front of me stops, so I had to stop. So I'm stopped, and I'm looking in my mirror because I've been rear-ended before. And I'm just thinking to myself, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. And he hit me. Like, I don't even think he hit the brake. He just hit me, like straight on from behind.
And I was in the trunk.
Exactly. So I get hit by this guy, the car, and then I had a Red Bull in the cup holder, and it flew up and hit me in the face and hit my teeth. I actually have to get a root canal done like next week because of the like something that hit me in the face during the car accident, or the way my jaw slammed. Some damage was done, and it knocked these 3 teeth in the front loose. So I have to get a root canal done on one of like my front teeth.
Oh man, that sucks. I think dentist work sucks, but dentist work for a ventriloquist? That's like a double whammy. He should pay you a lot of money.
Yeah, well, good luck trying to get any. I'm not even going to get into like that whole thing with the insurance and the money and whatever, but so anyway, he hits the car and knocks me out. Like, I get knocked out, and I had turned my wheel because I was about to go like get out of the way, but I couldn't get out of the way because there was a car coming or whatever. Like, I couldn't really turn. It wasn't too fast, you know, all that stuff that happens. So he hits me, I get knocked out, I wake up on the side of the road, and I'm rolling along on the side of the road, the part, you know, like to the far right.
The shoulder?
Yeah, the shoulder of the road. I'm on the side, on the shoulder of the road. I'm like rolling forward, and I wake up, like come to, hit the brake, put the car in park, jump out of the car, run to the trunk of the car, throw the trunk open, and the whole back end's just like jacked up, and just checked on you.
I know, and I was totally freaking out because it was like the scariest thing that could have possibly happened to me. I mean, it's not like I knew what happened because I didn't hear you saying, please don't hit me. All I heard was, and I was like, oh my God. I hope everything's okay. I hope nothing's broken, including my legs, because my legs are like behind my ears, and it's just all like I'm cramped in there. And then when he hit, oh, it was so scary. It was quite a jolt too. I was really glad my jaw wasn't broken. I was incredibly glad your jaw wasn't broken because mine got all messed up. But car was messed up, and like it took me a minute though to like realize that I didn't even care about the guy who hit me or whatever happened behind me at that point. All I cared about was making sure you were okay. Well, that's really sweet. Thank you.
Well, I just, I like, and so that's why I don't ever let her ride in the trunk anymore.
That's exactly why I don't want to ride in the trunk anymore.
I figured it's safer inside the car or in the front seat or in the back seat, but not the trunk.
So you don't really care about Billy? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not that I don't care about Billy, but Billy's probably not going to break if anything happens because he's a soft puppet. So I keep him in the trunk. And sometimes when we're sitting in the car, or in the stoplights especially, he will knock on the trunk. It's the weirdest thing.
It really is, because like I don't really do much when he's in the trunk and you're just sitting there and I'm in the car. Like it's not like we sit and have long conversations in the car really or anything. But he's like in the back, no one's around him, you're not manipulating him or anything, and he knocks on the trunk.
It's like this. It goes like, or something. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you've heard it before too.
I have. It's really weird. I don't know how he does it.
I know, it's just like, but it really only happens when Billy's in the trunk. It doesn't happen like if he's not in the trunk, I never hear the knock. So I don't know what it's from.
Did you ever take it to a mechanic or anything and ask him?
I did actually. I took my car in for an oil change and I asked the mechanic at the dealership. I said, hey, there's this weird knocking coming from my trunk. Like, I know there's a knock in the engine. Is it possible that there's a knock in the trunk?
And what did he say?
He said no, that I was crazy and that that's not a thing. But then I took it back to him for something else, and he was talking to me and he was leaning in the window and he heard it. And when he heard it, he goes, what was that? And so I'm like, that's the knock I asked you about before. He's like, what knock are you talking about? I said, there's some thing knocks. I think my puppet's knocking on the trunk. He wants out. I don't know. Like, he doesn't talk to me. He just knocks, and I don't understand what it's from. It's not the car. Is it the car? And he was like, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I didn't hear anything. It like backpedaled.
So maybe that's a ghost. Maybe there's a ghost in the trunk with Billy doing that.
It's possible. I don't know. It's a very weird thing, though, and it happens all the time when Billy's in the trunk.
Does it happen when he's in the back seat?
No, it doesn't happen. He's hardly ever in the back seat.
Sometimes he is when you go to the castle.
Occasionally when I go to the Magic Castle, I leave him in the back seat because he's easier to grab. But usually he's in the trunk. Like, that way nobody ever tries to break into the car and steal him or anything.
Because somebody's really going to break into the car and steal a dummy or a puppet.
Yeah. We live in Los Angeles. People break into the car for much less than that.
Has anybody ever broken into your car?
Not my car, no.
They broke into your truck, didn't they?
Yes, remember? When we first moved out here, somebody broke into my truck. I went into a club to grab a friend for some reason. Like, I had to ask him a question or something, so I had to go into this club in Hollywood. It was like this weird goth rave place. And I stopped in and I left a bunch of clothes and a bunch of stuff in the car. And when I ran in, I came back out and somebody had broken the back window out of my truck and had gotten in and taken all my bags and stuff.
That's when you were moving, right? From the college to the apartment?
It's exactly that. That's when I was at Cal State LA for a quarter. And then when I moved from Cal State LA into my apartment, that's when I had that happen. Like, I was literally just going by a friend's house with stuff to go to the apartment from the dorm room.
Yeah, that sucks. What did they steal anyway? It was like some music and some clothes.
They stole in my entire CD, my thing of CDs, those little flip cases. I don't know if people use those anymore.
I think mostly they use iTunes and stuff.
I think so, but I had a whole CD case thing full of CDs. And so they stole that, and I'm sure they were highly disappointed.
Oh my gosh, you listen to the worst music.
I don't listen. I listen to really cool music.
You had Melissa Etheridge and New Kids on the Block and Emily Wood and who else?
Well, first of all, I can't even replace the Emily CD because that was a girl who performed at my college at Ball State. And I don't know how to find that CD. I haven't been able to find it again to replace it. But the Melissa Etheridge I replaced, and all the New Kids on the Block stuff I just kind of have gone without.
What else did you lose?
I had Tim McGraw and Dixie Chicks.
Did you replace those?
I replaced both of those. A bunch of other stuff. There was a lot of soundtracks like Rent and Nonsense.
Oh, I haven't heard that forever.
I know. I used to sing along with it.
That's right, because you wanted to do that show in high school and then you didn't get to do it.
And so I bought the soundtrack, and so I've been trying to do it. And Forever Plaid was the other one.
Oh, I love that one. That one's a good one. That's the only good one I think you owned.
Probably. You don't like the same music that I like.
Well, you just listen to all country and sad country. Not even hip hop country, but that, oh, I lost my dog, I lost my car, I lost my woman, I lost my trailer, I lost my pitchfork.
I don't know that anybody sings about losing their pitchfork.
Yeah, but if they did, you'd have it on CD.
If they did, I'd probably have it on cassette. Did you ever get rid of your cassettes? No. I have a big box of cassettes in the other room. And I have cassette tapes too. Like,
well, that's the same thing.
No, like VHS tapes.
Oh, you have cassette VHS tapes?
I have VHS and then I have cassettes.
Do you have anything to play them on?
I still have the VHS player. My cassette player, I think, is broken.
It is.
It's like a karaoke machine, but I like lost the cord to plug it in, so I can't really listen to them.
So why don't you get rid of them? Because it's like,
I don't know, they don't make them anymore. I don't want to get rid of something that I can't replace.
Because you really need to keep those.
I want to keep them. I don't know. I'm sure lots of other people have cassettes laying around.
I doubt it.
Whatever. Anyway, so that's why that was my ghost stories.
Good. I'm glad we got through your ghost stories. Can you check the time?
Yeah, let me see what time it is. Oops, I lost the thing. So we have 25-ish minutes left.
You talked about ghost stories for that long? I know. You can ramble on about anything incessantly.
Incessantly? I don't think that's the word.
What is the word?
I don't know what the word is.
Incessantly?
I think that's what you meant.
Yes, you can do that. You just keep rambling on and on and on and on and on and on.
Well, it's a good thing.
Yeah, try listening to you. Oh.
Whatever. Anyway, there's one more topic that I want to get on before we run out of time. So I'm going to take a drink here of my diet orange soda.
Did you think I was going to talk while you were drinking? Because that's not going to happen.
It's true. All right, so other thing that I wrote this one down. Bride sends nasty Facebook message to her friend about her disappointment in the $100 gift that she was gifted at her wedding. I think it was quoted, it was like not nasty Facebook, it was horrendous Facebook message.
She wrote a Facebook message to her friend about the gift?
Yeah, so apparently this is what happened. And this was on the internet.
Because everything on the internet is true.
If you see it in the sun, it's so. So anyway, this girl apparently got married. And at her wedding reception, one of her friends gave her a $100 gift, like a check or cash or whatever, but gave her $100. And the friend and her boyfriend had both come to the wedding. So the bride wrote a nasty Facebook message to this friend saying, did we do something wrong? Were you not impressed with the wedding? The plates were $200 per person, per plate, just for the cocktail hour, and yet you could only possibly give us a gift of $50 a piece. So obviously you weren't impressed with the wedding or something. Like, she went on and on, whatever. And so this girl sent it in to this place on the internet, and then they were talking about it, and all the bride people that organize weddings and stuff were talking about it. And I think that's the biggest truck ever.
I totally heard that big truck.
I know, we're on the second floor, and I think it just shook the apartment. That's crazy.
So anyway, back to the story.
I know. Sorry, we do the podcast from the living room, which means that's not soundproof. It's not like some crazy professional studio or anything. It's just us and a camera on a couch. And if the neighbors get loud, so be it. And if trucks drive by, sorry. Hopefully we can take them out in post. I don't know, is there post?
I think these are supposed to be live.
Well, technically we're live right now. We're not editing anything, but by the time I figure out how to put it on the internet, it won't be live anymore.
So we're not streaming this?
No, we're not. I don't know how to do that.
Maybe you should get better at the internet.
I would love to. I want to stream our wedding.
That's right, you're getting married next year.
I am getting married, and that's why this caught my attention, because I've been reading a lot of stuff about brides and things, and just watching Bridezilla.
That is the worst show.
I know. It's crazy. There's this one now where it's not even Bridezilla. It's Bridezillas now have been married for a couple years and they're going through marriage counseling. It's the craziest show I've ever seen. I don't understand why you would want your entire life on TV like that. It just seems pretty humiliating. And those guys just kind of get bossed around by those women.
Yeah, they do.
They do. So anyway, I wanted to get your opinion. What do you think about the girl who wrote the nasty or the horrendous message to her friend? What do you think?
I don't know.
You don't have opinion?
Well, I guess weddings are expensive. So I kind of see your point, because I've been hearing you complain about how hard it is to plan your wedding and how expensive it's gonna be. But at the same time, like, she got a gift. It's a gift. It's not like, hey, you have to pay to come to the wedding.
Right. So I don't know. I think we're probably both on the same page on this. I just think that it's inappropriate that she would even bring it up. Like, if she wants to be steamed in the back of her head and be like hurt or whatever, she can do that for like 5 minutes and then get over it. Because there's no reason to be upset even. Like, she got a gift and it's a gift. And they shouldn't be expected to pay to come to the wedding.
Yeah, because if you're going to do that, you should have a cover at the door.
Can you imagine if you got an invitation to your friend's wedding and it was like $200 cover? You can come to the wedding. Please RSVP with the money, and like they pay ahead of time for the wedding.
Maybe you should do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, it's a good idea though. Maybe you should do that.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm totally not. But that's funny. I mean, that's kind of like what this girl's opinion was though. Like, she thought like, oh, we're having a wedding, so therefore everyone must pay to cover the cost of the wedding, which would be nice and it'd be great if that could happen, but you can't expect that that's gonna be the case.
Yeah, but it would be helpful.
Oh, they're mowing lawn. There's lawn mowing happening. All right. Well, since there is lawn mowing happening, and I don't think I can speak louder than the gardener downstairs, I think we're going to have to cut this short right here.
Oh, no, I want to finish talking about the bride.
No, we can talk about the bride later.
No, he's going away.
Okay, he's going away. Fine. Really quick, I think that she probably should write an apology to her friend, and I still think her friend may not ever forgive her. Because I don't know, I just think that's the rudest thing you could possibly do. Like, you don't give somebody a gift with the expectation that they're going to yell at you for it or make you feel bad about it. So she should have just taken it and been happy and been over it, and that's it.
I feel the same way. I think that she should get like some sort of, I don't know, like guilty conscience for telling her friend that was not appropriate. Like $100 is a good gift. She should just get over herself.
Exactly. She should totally get over herself. All right. Well, due to the amount of crazy noise that happens to take over our apartment,
yes, the crazy amount of noise is why we can't take a nap in the afternoon.
We're going to end here on our first podcast. I am Christine Barger.
And I am Darlene Hollywood. Thank you for listening
or watching, because it's also a video podcast.
Yes, or watching.